Hello everyone and welcome aboard NJ703 for this flight to Fenland airfield. Just going through the startup procedure for the Auster Mark V. Master on, mixture to rich, carb heat off, fuel on, brakes set, throttle set and prime with 5 shots. Now both mags on, check we're clear. Two more shots of prime. The engine is cold. She normally goes on the second attempt. Prime is locked and there we go, we have start. Wait for the engine to warm up and the oil pressure to rise. After about 10 minutes of warming up, we've now got some heat in the engine and we're going to do our run-up checks. And this consists of running the engine up to around 1600 RPM. And we'll check the mags left and right, no more than 50 RPM drop. And also the same carb heat to hot and no more than 50 RPM drop. And then we pull the throttle all the way back and make sure that the engine idles properly. And we're happy with all that. And then back up to about 1100 RPM. We make our call as we're ready to enter the runway and backtrack for departure. We enter the runway to backtrack. We're using 03 today. You'll notice as I backtrack down the runway, I'll be weaving from side to side. I haven't been drinking. It's necessary to do this in a tail dragger aircraft due to the position of the nose and the way the aircraft is sat. Visibility is quite poor directly in front of us, so we weave from side to side so we can see where we're going, see directly what's in front of us. I don't want to be running any birds over or hitting any nasty bumps in the runway. As we approach the numbers, we turn the aircraft into wind, keeping the controls into wind at all times. So about 10 knots at 002 degrees today. And we bring the aircraft to a full stop, stick back, and 1100 RPM. Just do various checks, and we're setting the trim, and one stage of flap, the transponder goes on. Checking various instruments. Controls are free. And smoothly full throttle. Raise the nose. And and the aircraft will get up within around 100 metres. See, there's aircraft used during the war in and out of any field they could find on the battlefield. So very capable aircraft. We climb out around 70 knots and at 300 feet the flaps are away and the throttle is brought back slightly just to ease the pressure on the engine. Should be around about half an hour to Fenland. The aircraft, I think at the minute we've got about 95 knots across the ground. The Auster, there's this Auster anyway, flies at around 85 knots. Visibility is absolutely fantastic out of this aircraft. We don't have any form of autopilot in the Auster. It's very much hands-on, stick and rudder flying. We're currently cruising around 1,000 feet. During the war, these aircraft typically would operate around 50 feet, the main roles being artillery spotting, and in the case of this aircraft, reconnaissance. This particular machine was fitted with a camera system, and obviously operating at such low altitudes did make them vulnerable to small arms fire and even their own artillery fire. I have a great admiration for the chaps that operated these aircraft. It cannot have been an easy job. We're currently downwind at Fenland. Carb comes on, throttle back to idle, and we're just waiting for the speed to bleed off so we can pull the flaps back, set the trim. We're looking for about 60 knots, 2 stages of flap comes on as we turn for our base leg. As we turn for final at Fenland on runway 36, 10 knots, just coming in from slightly from the right. And we're looking for 60 knots all the way down to the threshold. The Auster does have a 3rd stage of flap, but it's not always needed. Concentrating very hard here. Throttle all the way back to idle. I'm looking to round out just above the runway. Slowly ease the stick back. Keep it neutral, not all the way back. The runway is quite bumpy and she will leap back into the air. A successful landing at Fenland as we taxi for some fuel. And as we bring the aircraft to a stop, stick back, and we're going to raise the revs to around 13-12 1300 RPM. This is burning off anything fouling the plugs. We'll check our mags. See if the engine's running rough or not, left and right. It's running a little bit rough, which should be expected. So we just allow a few more seconds. And we'll check our mags again. Looking for RPM drop. That sounds okay this time then. Mixture fully lean, which will cut the engine. Master off, alternator off, carb heat, fuel off, and mags off. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Flight from Wickenby to Fenland in this Auster NJ703.